Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. My name is Ashley.
And I'm Tasha.
And this is Her Real Perspective, where culture meets cinema.
So each week we'll be reviewing TV shows, movies, etc., and discussing them through the unique lens of a Black woman's perspective.
We're continuing on in our review of the Cross series on Amazon Prime. And we will start with episode 5. If you haven't seen our review of episodes 1 through 4, please go and check them out. All right. Episode 5. It is named What Happens at Ramsey's.
Okay, great. I'm noticing that I don't have names of the episodes.
Oh, okay.
Throughout this. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so we ended the last episode, and Alex says he has a birthday party to go to, so we can anticipate that in this episode we're going to be going to the birthday party.
Right.
And we see Ramsey continuing on in his work on Shannon, turning her into Eileen. Ryan Eggold, who is the guy who plays Ed Ramsey, is fantastic. He's a great actor, and he played in The Blacklist. I don't know if you've ever seen that show.
Yes. Okay. I haven't watched like everything, but I kept thinking like he looks so familiar. What do I know him from?
Yeah, he's good at. He didn't play this exact type role, but like more espionage and stuff like that. And he was like the bad guy turned good guy, all the things. So yeah, he's a really good actor in these types of roles. He also played in New Amsterdam. It's like a hospital show.
Oh,
yeah, it had a couple of seasons.
He has dark hair in that, right?
I don't remember.
Oh, I feel like he's.
Yeah, I think
he the main
does.
person?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, okay,
yes,
so he has dark hair.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. Very different role from here, but yeah, he's great. And so Ed Ramsey is a true psychopath.
That is correct.
You see how he goes from like tearing the. He didn't tear the girl's teeth out, but essentially he knocked them out, and then he's like forcing her to have her like get her a new. Like a mold for her teeth, and she tries to resist by not opening her mouth. And so he like, plugs her nose. Yeah. It's really hard, and she's resisting. And he's like, "Oh, you want to play this game?" And then he starts screaming at her, "I don't want to play the game anymore. Yeah. Open your mouth," and stuff like that. And he shoves. It's just crazy. It was
entirely too much.
Yeah. And doing all the counting to make sure her teeth were in the mold for a specified period of time and all that. And he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go to a party."
Right.
So he goes up and starts entertaining guests.
Same location.
Yeah.
Yes.
Upstairs.
Yeah.
So Alex and John have. Well, I think before this, Elle came and said like, "Hey, he's talking to Ramsey and he's talking about like, oh, we've got the donors here and you're gonna get so much money for your organization and blah blah blah. There's kids there singing and stuff for entertainment.
All these Black children.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yes, because I don't think anyone is listening to this kind of, like towards the end they come out and they sing happy birthday, bring out the cake, but they're singing Stevie Wonder's version.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they don't know what this is. These people at this party do not know.
Yeah.
But someone had to have said, please sing the Black version of this, Black people.
Oh my gosh.
Which I found to be.
How many Black people were there? 1? 2?
Elle?
Yeah, Elle and Alex.
And Alex.
And then the chorus that is.
And the children, yes, who are there to entertain.
Yeah, I didn't make a note of that, but I'm like, this is so weird.
This is very weird. Very, very weird. And, it's, I guess it's for the kids, like.
Okay.
So maybe that's part of it, like her organization, and so maybe the kids are from her organization.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I was just like, this is extremely off-putting to me.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Yeah. Where are these kids' parents?
Yeah.
Because they're not at the party, and I feel like if my kid was going, I don't know, I feel like I would be like,
yeah,
I'll be there for the performance.
If I don't know, like if described that they're going to a dinner party with I don't know if they're going to say like a bunch of rich white folks, because it sounds weird. Like if they're going to a performance, like we went on choir performances before,
then
but
different.
This is like a person. It's not private, but semi-private.
It's his home.
Yeah. So
it
was just really strange.
Think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not buying it.
Yeah. So yeah, Elle introduces, oh, you remember Alex? He's my date tonight and stuff like that. So they're like, oh, hello, like, he's like, oh,
Yeah,
he's
freaking
the
weirdo.
golden boy of the Washington
Yes.
D.C. Police Department and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So yeah, and then you jump to 3 days ago where John and Alex are boxing and developing this plan.
Okay, and so my question is this what guys do? They are beating the shit out of each other, like for real, to the point where they have to like stop so the other person can like catch their breath or whatever, and then they continue.
Yeah, and they're discussing.
And they're discussing the strategy. I would be like, bro, you just made me lose my breath from punching me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to Indiana for you.
Yeah.
While you go to a freaking birthday party with all these rich people.
Yeah.
No. If you wanted me to go, you would not have hit me like that. I don't know. I was just like looking at my husband like, is this fun? I said, is this fun?
What did he say? Does he do that?
He doesn't do it.
spar.
He doesn't
like
do boxing or whatever. But I'm like,
interested, but he hasn't done
this just seems weird.
Yeah.
Because they're clearly not mad at each other, but I guess
Yeah.
this is how they're keeping in shape or whatever.
Yeah.
And they both are in great shape.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. That Cross is going to go to the dinner party and get information. He said it's basically like he gets to interrogate him without any lawyers present because he's such a smarty pants and he knows all the things and all the tricks and all the whatevers that he's just going to get all of this information from him that he can use to bury him, essentially. And while he's doing that, John will be driving to freaking Indiana, where we are located, by the way. And he's going to get information from local whoever people like in the town or whatever.
Yeah, and that's hilarious. They tried to like slight Indiana, like, keep driving for 73 miles. He's like, are you kidding me?
Hilarious. Yes.
I didn't get that on the first watch, but yeah, that's hilarious.
If you get on a major highway and you're going somewhere far, you just stay on the highway.
Yeah.
And so it'll be like, stay on 70 east for 121 miles. And
Yeah, it's like, golly,
Jesus, what are we doing?
Right.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. I was like cracking up.
Yeah.
My favorite, probably not my favorite thing of the episode. I was very stressed out during this episode because I feel like we were not being smart. Okay? The most hilarious thing that happened, I think, because I wrote LMAO, is where like John's driving to Indiana. He stops at a diner and the lady's like, oh, is it just you? And he says like, oh, I'm waiting for someone. She like throws the menu on the table and I'm like, okay. Yeah. And then these people are seated like behind him or I don't know. Yeah. And they're just staring at him. And John goes, first time, huh? And the guy like looks at him and he's like, seeing the black man. Also hilarious. Yeah. Middle of Indiana, probably, yes, the first time that he saw a black man. Yeah. I thought that was hilarious, but I was also like, be very careful.
Right.
Because these people are crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, what happened to, well, I guess they want to keep the strategy in like tight with people that they trust each other the most. So I guess they don't want to bring anyone else along. But
I know. I kept saying like throughout this, like you guys need backup. Like you need to tell other people, but obviously they can't because folks can't be trusted. Right. So
it's the person.
Oh yes.
Okay, John meets the person who used to know, or he knows Ed Ramsey from childhood. He said that their parents wanted them to be best friends, but he always knew that Ramsey was a psychopath or that something was wrong with him. There was like a period of time where they would see a lot of dead birds with feet missing around their town. And for some reason, I don't know if somebody was sick or something, but his mom said, take this food over there. And he like went up to John's room or Ed's room and saw all the feet in in Ed's room. Mm-hmm. So he was like, okay, I know that he was doing it. Right. And he also had like a lot of photos of other people. Like he would watch people and just take photos of them. And he had pictures Ramsey had pictures of this guy's dad with someone else. So he didn't tell anybody about the birds because he didn't want his family to be put on blast and his life to be ruined, essentially.
Right.
So, yeah. But he also gives him a lead to say, like, you can talk to someone named White
Mike.
Okay, I had Wild Willie, so I don't know where that came from. White Mike in Philly.
Wild Willie. Oh my God, that is great.
And also he tells him that Ramsey's mother is still alive, but she's got dementia or she's in a home or something like that. So John calls and reports back to Alex at the party.
So at the party, Cross starts going over the profile of this killer, and I'm like, what are you doing? Okay, what are you doing? But then I'm like, okay, well, he's trying to like throw him off a little bit, or like maybe he's like purposely giving him like the wrong information so he feels like, ah, ha, ha, these people are such idiots or whatever. I don't know. But even the chief, who was also there at this guy's freaking birthday party, is like, what are you doing? Like, this is not a thing that we're supposed to be discussing, blah, 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 whatever. And so I think Cross says something like, keep in mind, this is just speculations. This is just conjecture or whatever, to say like, we're not giving you actual details. This is just like our hunch or I don't know, whatever. So he starts doing that. John calls him and tells him this information. So Cross steps out of like dinner. I think they're sitting and eating dinner at this point. I don't know.
They're still standing around talking.
Oh, okay. So then he steps out of the room to take the phone call from John. And so he gets the information and then he starts snooping around. And this is where my anxiety kicked in. I was literally like had a blanket like, oh my God. What are you doing? What are you doing? Like, I know that this is your shot to get as much information as is humanly possible without going through the red tape of having a warrant and all that jazz. But at the same time, this dude is a freaking psycho. Okay? If he just pops up out of nowhere, what's your excuse gonna be if you're trying to not let him know that you think that he's the killer? What are you gonna say?
I know. It was why his back was to the door and everything. He like was in his office or something like that and like looking through all the papers and like got his phone out and like I'm like, bro, are you kidding? Like someone's going to come.
Happening? I'm like, you have been gone for too long. Too long.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it was wild. And so then Ramsey, I think he asked Elle, like, so where did John go? She's like, I don't know. I think he took a call or went to the restroom or something. He's like, okay, let me go find him. So then he goes looking for him. And he goes and finds him in the office. And I guess he just says, like, he was looking around or something. Like,
he's like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I didn't know I needed an excuse to go to the bathroom or something. And he's like, you passed 3 bathrooms to get to this room. So what are you talking about? Yeah, which is like, why would you even say that? Clearly, you're not in the bathroom. Like, you just made it sound like, bro, why are you so mad? I just went to the bathroom. Like, no, you're in my office. What are you doing in my office? So, I don't know.
Then Ramsey just, like, brushes it off or something. They start talking about he wants more information. Like, tell me more about this profile you've got and stuff like that. And they talk about whiskey and stuff. But on the profile part, Alex starts getting more under his skin. Oh my gosh, I typed some stuff. Fanboy wants to be a legend, but all he's doing is making pale copies of the legend. And he says he made a scrapbook like a little groupie. And it's like, you know, you can see in his face like, oh, how dare you say these things about me and stuff like that. And so, they call him a fanboy and all this stuff. And it was an interesting exchange.
It sure was. I'm looking like, can we please just get back to the freaking birthday party? Because at this point, you're still, what are you doing? You're just antagonizing him, which I understand why. Because you're trying to throw him off his game. But I'm also like, can we get back to safety? I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, because
like I need you safe, please.
Yeah. Obviously, the guy's a psycho. So what's to stop him from like, okay, I now need to go come after you too, or now I need to get rid of you at the party and say you fell, or something what is going on here? Yeah. So and then, but then we also see that John. God, Lee, why do I keep calling this man John? Ed, he has information on Alex. He knows like his favorite drink, and I said whiskey. I don't know what it is, but some brown liquor.
It was like Pappy something.
Yeah, Pappy something. So he shares that with him. It's like a very expensive brown liquor. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and then so they get back to the party, and Alex says to Elle, like, "Did you tell him that I like Pappy?" Whatever the name. What is the name of this thing on drink?
Pappy something. Like I did not write it down, but I did ask Alex. I asked my husband. See, this is why I don't call him Alex. I asked my husband, what kind of drink it was, like what kind, and he said he thought it was maybe scotch of some sort. Okay, but it's called Pappy
Van Winkle bourbon.
Oh, it's bourbon.
$964.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, there it is. Pappy Van Winkle. Did you tell?
We'll never have a sip of that in my life. Who has that kind of money?
Yeah, Pappy Van Winkle. So.
Yeah. So he's like, bro, did you tell him that this is my favorite like drink? Like, how would he know this?
Yeah.
And so then I put in here like he knows about Alex's family. He starts describing him, but he says Isaiah. Yeah. And he starts describing like the mom was addicted to drugs and she was a whore and like, oh, poor Isaiah, like this, that, and the other. And then his mom dies and then his dad dies and then he has to live with his grandmother, Regina. Like he knows all of this information. And so I'm like, okay, did Ed kill his wife? Is he the stalker? Like what is happening? Yeah. I'll ask what's going on because she knows that he's describing Alex and Alex's life. Obviously she knows the grandmother, Regina. She knows, I'm assuming she knows that his mom died, his dad died, what have you. She must also know that Isaiah is him. They are the same person. Yeah. And so she's like, what's going on? Cross tells her that Ed is the fanboy. Okay. And I'm looking like, I feel like this does not make sense because did he need to tell her? Yeah. And maybe he was just trying to get her to calm down. Yeah. That would not calm me down to know that I'm at a serial killer's house though. Like I would be like, we have to go home right now. Yeah. Ella's upset, rightfully so, because she's like, what the hell? You used me to be here so that you can do whatever it is that you weirdos are doing with each other. Like you're saying all of this stuff and putting Ed on edge, and then he's saying all this stuff and putting you on edge. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but either way, you used me to get here. You said you weren't going to come. You didn't want to come. And then all of a sudden you're here and I'm piecing together that once you figured out that he was a fanboy is when you said like, oh, actually I will go with you, which is a crappy thing to do.
Yeah. I was curious as to why she got so upset with him initially when Ramsey is the one who poked at him at the party, because she up until this point didn't know that he was poking at Ramsey.
Yes.
So she was in the dark about that, and then after Ramsey says all this stuff, she's like, well, what is going on? You know, it's like, ask him what's going on. He the one who got all my personal information. Like I don't know what, like, so he still could have played it off. But yeah, so she got kind of frustrated with, and then that's how the whole conversation happened with him revealing the fanboy stuff. So yeah, it was a strange exchange, and then they stayed there. But okay,
right. I feel like I would be like,
got it.
Good to know. Let's get the fuck out of here. In the name of self-preservation, let's leave. Yeah. Because why would we be hanging out at this killer's house?
Yeah.
Psycho.
Yeah. So before the dinner thing with Isaiah, with him like bringing up Isaiah and how he said he helped them and took care of them, basically. Gave them money. I don't even,
Yeah,
how does that even connect? But anyways, he went down to, after Cross and Ramsey had that conversation and had the Pappy Van Winkle drink. Ed was extremely upset because he was saying all those things like, he's doing like, he's like a fake imitation and stuff like that. And, he was so upset. Ed goes down to get another bottle of wine and he drops it. And mind you, he's, I guess Shannon's held in the wine cellar.
Oh, right, yeah.
So he's got to go in. She's tied up and stuff. He's like, oh, how can you say all this stuff about me in my own house and stuff like that? And he drops the bottle and stuff. And great, a $10,000 bottle of wine on this, is leaking into the cement. So, of course, it's shattered. He doesn't take the time to clean it up. And so Shannon sees this as her time to try to, like, wiggle and knock her chair over so she can get the glass and hopefully get out. Yep. Let's see. Oh, so John in Indiana he's gone to see Ramsey's mother. She has dementia, so now he's working on trying to like get through to her and see if he can get some information out of her, despite the fact that she has dementia. Eventually, he gets to the point of that the daughters died. Or was killed. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. She said, did Ed do something else bad or something like that? She asked. She did. Yeah, she did ask that. So they get that little tidbit of information.
So then you infer that he did something to the sister. Yeah. Her daughter, his sister. Yeah. And that's why she's no longer alive. But it's never confirmed. Yeah.
So my next comment is about Elle doing a pitch.
Yes. I said in my notes, Elle pitches to rich prick.
Yeah.
Because he's being a real asshole.
Gosh,
he keeps just being such an a-hole. Yeah. I'm like, why? What was he calling her? Sweetheart. Yeah. I'm like, sorry.
Yeah.
Who are you talking to? Yeah. And like, she's like, obviously very thrown off because she just found out that Ed is the freaking serial killer. Yeah. And he keeps stopping her like randomly when they're alone, like, hey, look, you can't leave, you're gonna stay here, come on, you gotta go do this pitch or whatever. And so she is like, I need to get out of here. Yeah. But he's like, no, you've been waiting a long time to do this pitch or whatever, so do the pitch. He takes her to the guy and he's like, all right, let's hear it. Yeah, sweetheart. Yeah, let's hear the pitch.
Yeah, you speak up, sweetie. I can't. I'm like, bro, calm the freak down.
You're an a-hole.
And why did you even agree to talk if you don't want to?
If you're this irritated about it, you could say no.
Yeah.
Ed, I am not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not listening to any pitches. I'm fucking done with this. I'm done with pitches.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, as soon as he learns that she is dating Alex Cross, then he's like, oh, how does $250,000 sound or something?
I'll make it annually.
Yeah, I'm looking like, okay.
Yeah.
What is this connection?
Yeah.
Why do you care? I don't know. Yeah. And I don't know that we get an answer.
Maybe he ended like hoping that they could have him on the hook. Like, if you don't do this for me, we'll take away the funding from your girlfriend's charity or something. I don't know. But
I don't know, but I thought that was so weird.
So they have another fight. Elle and Alex have another fight because he gets her out of he's like, what is going on in here? And she's like pitching to this guy and stuff. And he's like, get upset and she walks off. And so then here comes Ed like, oh, what's going on there? You want me to talk to her? Yeah. And stuff. And so then they get into this back and forth now, him and Alex. I thought somebody was going to get punched.
I thought somebody was going to get punched too.
I'm like, oh my gosh, he's going to punch him. So yeah, Alex reveals that they know that the mom is not dead and stuff. And in fact, they have recorded the mother singing happy birthday to Ed and play it for him.
Right.
It's ridiculous. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then he talks about how, like, it sucks so much when, like, a parent, like, distances themselves from one child because their other child died or is no longer with them for whatever reason. Like, obviously the parent is still there, but they're just, like, ignoring you and, like, not... basically, you don't exist to them anymore.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's a coping mechanism for the parent, but it is really... awful for the child who's left behind because obviously you don't have a parent
Yeah.
at all. And so this, I guess, is what happened between Ed and his mom.
Yeah. Ed's like, yeah, he said something like, you've got one part wrong. I told my mom that I would do anything to be an only child. He basically just confessed to killing his own sister. Ed's like, I'm ready to talk about my skeletons in my closet, basically. He's like, what about you? I think that's where it kind of leaves it. Ed sent a text message that says, do it.
Right. I'm looking like,
oh boy. Yeah.
What are we doing?
Right.
So then it cuts, I think after that, it cuts to Shannon, or it cuts to like Ed going back downstairs into the cellar. I don't know why exactly this happened after that. But I don't know why. Maybe just to get more wine. I don't know. Yeah. Also, it seems really silly to bring up one bottle of wine. He has like, it seems like hundreds of people at his house. So I don't know why we're just grabbing one bottle of wine at a time. Yeah. Unless these people are not heavy drinkers. I don't really know. Yeah. Anyway, he goes back down there, opens the door, and the chair is tipped over and empty, right? Is it tipped over still?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And so he's like, what's going on? So he walks into the thing, into the room all the way. Shannon is behind the door, and she like attacks him, whatever. They're like tussling. And is this where she cuts him? Yeah. She like slices him with the bottle that broke and runs away. Okay. And so I'm like, this plan is not going to work. Because doors have to be locked or something. Yeah. You have a person downstairs. Yeah. What if one of your guests just like gets lost and they make a wrong turn? They're going to find her. Yeah. So like he has to be locking doors, whatever. So I thought there's no way that she's going to even get upstairs. She's just going to be stuck downstairs running, and eventually there's nowhere else to run. Yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh, like he is going to hurt you. Yeah. But not really, because he can't, because he needs you to be this person. Yeah. Anyway, so she's running. She does make it upstairs. She goes into this room. Someone is outside smoking, like outside the window, and she runs to the door, and she's like, help me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like crazy, because what is he gonna say to all of these guests that are at his house about this woman who is tied up, bloody, whatever? Yeah. He can't say anything. Yeah. This is it. Yeah. The person outside who's smoking turns around to face the door and then holds the door closed so she cannot get out. And then Ramsey comes up and they like keep tussling or whatever, and she's like, okay, you need me to be perfect just like Eileen, right? And she like slices her face. And then he punches her. Yeah, he like knocks her out. Yeah. And so I am watching this like, what is wrong with these people? Because we have this guy who found the bird feet. Yeah, and he's like, meh, not gonna say anything about that. It's weird as fuck. But you know, my family's going to go down if I say something, so I'm not going to say anything. Yeah. You have this lady, this older white lady, not only not help Shannon, but like force her to stay in this situation when she could have helped her. Yeah. I'm looking like, who are these people? What's happening? Yeah. Anyway, I was astonished, and I guess I shouldn't have been, but I'm like, she literally held the door shut. Ramsey goes out and he like readjusts the lady's cigarette in her mouth and is like, you didn't see anything. You don't remember anything or something like that. Yes. And the lady's like, okay, I'm going back to the party. And she just goes back to the party, orders a drink. Yeah, she's visibly shaken. Yeah. But so what? I mean, you could have helped the woman. Oh, well. Yeah. Anyway. She's like, I'll take a gin and tonic. Matter of fact, just a gin. Yeah. And stuff. And then Alex is like, it looks like you've seen a ghost. Are you okay? And she just doesn't say anything and like keeps walking or whatever. Right. Yeah. Nuts, bro. Yeah, very much so. Crazy. Yeah. And so I'm like, at this point, why are Elle and Cross still at the party? Like, you've obviously, like, literally, like, he's just standing around, like, looking around, like, and he's got this scowl on his face and stuff like that, like, and Elle's somewhere else because she doesn't want to be next to Alex, so she's ticked off at him. I'm like, why are you guys still there? You've made your point. Right. Like, but did we talk about the video? No. Not yet. Okay, no. So this is when they have the like singing of the birthday song. Yes. This is where they're singing Stevie Wonder's
Yeah.
Happy Birthday to ya. I'm looking like, okay, cute. The kids sound great. Yes. However, this is not culturally relevant for a group of white people.
Yeah.
Why are we doing it?
Yeah. And I think that made it on purpose because they're so cringy. Right. Like you all, especially at least two people we know for sure know what's going on.
Right.
And you guys are just partying like
nothing.
Yeah, like nothing.
Crazy.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh, but Alex does address John again. Like, hey, what's going on? Looks like you took a shower, you got cleaned up and everything. What's happening? You look shaken. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Ed. Yes. Golly, what is going on with me today? So, yeah, addresses Ed and says all these things and like, oh my gosh, you are holding her here. She's here, isn't she?
Could you really be that arrogant?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my You're putting all of your cards on the table.
Yeah.
Face up,
absolutely,
buddy. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. And then meanwhile, like, Alex is getting these calls on his phone. He keeps rejecting, and then you see everybody's getting notifications on their phone and like looking at him.
Yes.
Because a video was just sent out of him brutalizing an innocent person in his authority as a police officer.
Yes, he was holding a gun. Yeah, and he's asking him like, "Did you kill her? Did you kill her?" So clearly, he's in a state of not unwell. He is not in the state of being well. Yeah. And he's trying to figure out who the heck killed his wife. Yeah. So, on one hand, I'm like, yes, I guess I understand the rage. On the other hand, you cannot abuse your power. Yeah. Like, this is not how investigations go. Yeah. Like, this is not what you should be doing. You should not be asserting your power to come out and, like, chase people down and hold them at freaking gunpoint. Are you kidding me? Yeah, all caught on tape, and it's been sent out all over. So I guess that's what Ramsey meant when he said do it. Yes. In that text message. So now everybody's looking at Alex at this party, and he's like, well, wait a second. Okay, I know it looks bad, but he's a killer. It's really fucked up. Yeah. However, do not let this cloud your judgment. Yeah. This is the fanboy. So he tells everyone. I'm looking like, what do you think is going to happen now? I think I need you to use some critical thinking skills right now because that's not going to save you. Yeah. Like your credibility is completely shot. It is. Like just please bow out gracefully and leave. Right. Like Shannon wakes up and she starts screaming. Yeah. And that's the end of episode 5. Yep. Oh my gosh. Is that a child? Hello. Okay, episode 6 is called A Bang, Not a Whimper. This episode opens with protests. Amir's sister is there. She says, fuck Cross to Cross. Yeah. Or like in his face. And she says, fuck the police. Mm-hmm. So initially, it took me a minute to get what the F she was upset about. She's upset about the video. Yeah. Because like you say you're different or whatever, but like look at you, you're doing the same thing to us, your people. So Cross is there as a department to turn in his badge and everything because clearly we cannot employ you when you are doing things like this, sir. So he goes in, turns in his badge, and then Cross and John are arguing. Okay, I put very sexy because I have an issue. I like them both a lot. They're both big and like whatever. Anyway, so they're arguing and I'm like, oh yeah, like this is great. Prime television. However, like the conversation that they're having is like, it's rough. And Cross is telling him like, you're not my blood, therefore you're not my family. You're just a friend that I used to work with and whatever. And like, it's getting hurtful. I don't know. I really enjoyed this scene a lot because I have issues. Okay. I understand, but I really enjoyed this scene a lot. I said this in the very beginning. I like when a person can like just stay calm and like read someone for filth. I like that. But I also like when these like chill, laid back kinds of people, like, not snap, but like something happens and they like show their true color. So they're like in each other's faces and they're like threatening to beat each other up. Yeah. I really liked it. I was like, this is great. This is great. But it was like, oh, that sucks. Yeah. Because they're like, I mean, they're like going hard at each other. And so the black lady, we need to look at the thing and figure out what her name is. She comes in to break them up, and she does so lovingly in a very like black woman kind of way. She's not like, hey, you guys need to stop, blah, blah, blah. Everyone can hear you out here screaming because, by the way, they're like in the locker room. And so everyone in like the office, not office, it's a police department, but you know what I'm saying? Like where all the desks are and things like that, everyone can hear everything that they are saying. And so it's like, so she goes in there and she's like, okay, I don't know what's going on, but I'm just gonna, like, you guys need to back up and I'm just gonna stand here until someone leaves because you can't do this here. Like, obviously there are issues or whatever that need to be worked out, need to be talked about, whatever the fuck, but this is not the time or the place. You cannot do this here. And I really loved the way that she like got them together real quick.
Yeah, she handled it very nicely, and she didn't like do that like, you guys are brothers and you're family and this should not be happening. You know, like some little corny spiel or whatever. Right. She was just like, hey, enough, and I'm not going to let you guys do anything else. But yeah, Alex was really going in. So it wasn't even John was even really saying anything back. Yeah. He was just like, whoa, like you did beat the guy up, bro. Like, you know, like and stuff, and like you're not the only person who lost Maria and stuff, and so you ain't family, you're not blood, you're not bone. I'm like, oh boy. Yeah. Disheartening in that they have such a nice bond. Yes. And they're there, like John is really, really there for him and stuff, like take the flowers to the gravesite and stuff. He like pops up over there and will take care of the kids. He said he'd even wake up with them when he offered him to sleep with Elle. He didn't offer him to sleep with Elle. That sounds weird. But you know, like if you want to stay the night at Elle's, I'll be here with the kids. You know, that type of thing. So the reason they're having this argument is because Cross is saying like, this is your fault. Yeah. You shouldn't have recorded me. You shouldn't have reported it to whoever he reported it to. If you hadn't done that, there would be nothing for someone to expose to the world. Yeah. And so I think like this is a really interesting piece of this because Alex Cross has a PhD in psychology. This is a very, very smart man. Yeah. This is a very emotionally intelligent man, but in the midst of these dark times for him, he is not able to take accountability for his own actions. Because like, if I didn't record it, you're right, there would be nothing to expose. However, if you didn't do it, there would have been nothing for me to record. And so I think I just thought this was like really telling of like his mindset in that moment because he's trying to find the killer of his wife. He's grieving. I mean, they're very much in love. And as a person who loves love, like when I'm reading romance novels, I need someone to write this story of Alex and Maria so that I can fall in love with them all the way. So like they're very much in love, and I can only imagine what that kind of loss would feel like. And obviously he is a very even-keeled guy. At least it seems like from the very beginning when he goes in and the guy's calling him boy and doing all that, he's like not getting upset about that. He's not getting riled. But I feel like obviously his mindset when he was like had the gun pointing at this kid, I mean, it looked like a young guy. He was not all there mentally. And I think now Ed has stripped him down. He's like exposing all of these things, which he said he was going to do, kind of, sort of. Like he said, like, I'm good with all my stuff coming out. Are you? Clearly no. But I think like because it happened,
Alex is now in the same kind of state of like just being irrational. This was an irrational fight to have, really.
Yeah.
Because if he was, and we see it later that he like apologizes and all of that jazz. But like, if he was in that kind of mind frame in this moment, he would have just been like, you know what? I should not have pulled the gun out on that kid, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do whatever I need to do to get my job back. And that's kind of the end of it.
Yeah.
But he felt betrayed on top of all of the other feelings that was going on. So
yeah, because before he went into the locker room to clear out his locker, he had the meeting with the chief and the lieutenant, and they said like, we're done with Ramsey. Like, we searched his house,
right?
And there's nothing there.
Right.
So leave it. Well, not only are you handing in your badge and your gun, we're no longer pursuing him. So just forget it. And so then he had all that, like, your guys are going to let this guy go. Like, he played you. He's like, well, when did you guys do the search? And she said, oh, this morning. He's like, well, he had enough time to get rid of everything. Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Like, are you kidding?
Yes.
And so he's extremely angry about that because he's like, we're not going to catch him. Because John says, oh yeah, we're gonna pursue these leads.
Like, don't worry about it. I'll be on it.
Yeah, he's like, oh, he's gonna be done by
dead.
then. Yeah, he's like, well, thanks for the vote of confidence, dude. So yeah, there's that.
Yes.
On top of the losing the badge, he feels like they're about to let a serial killer go free, and he knows that this is the last one.
Right.
So he'll be done.
This is the last time that he's gonna kill.
Yeah.
This is number 12.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah. So
this is his big finale.
Yep. So
yeah.
So gets a call from the school saying that Damon's been suspended for fighting, or that Damon got into a fight. He punched a kid, and so Cross has to go in and get him. And there's a zero tolerance policy, so he is now suspended for like a week, and so he has to bring him home and all the things. And Damon won't say like why he punched him. In my mind, I already knew like it had to be about the video.
I did not. I feel like the first time I watched this episode twice. I feel like the first time I watched it, or actually, not twice. I think I fell asleep. I turned it off so I could go to sleep. And I think it was late and I was not maybe paying attention all the way. I still, at this point, am not putting together that the video's been released to everyone.
Yeah.
To the media and all of that jazz. So I'm like, what the heck? Why is he fighting
Yeah.
kids? Like, he seems like such a nice little boy. Like,
Yeah.
why is he fighting children?
Yeah.
What's going on? So.
Yeah, I don't know why. As soon as I saw that it was released and that there was a protest and that lady, I figured that she was upset about the video. I was like, it has to go to the kids.
Right.
Because kids are always on social media nowadays and stuff like that. So I'm like, and earlier in the episode, Cross is talking to like his union rep or something. He's like, yeah, let's keep this quiet. We're not gonna give the badge over here. I'm gonna take it there and stuff. And he said, I don't want it to come to my house because the kids don't know. I'm like, do you really think that they're not gonna find out in this age of like social media and sharing and everything like that? But I guess he didn't think that they would find out.
Yeah.
I have someone named Taylor, but her name is Kayla.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. She comes and tells about White Mike.
Oh, yes.
Okay, that she's done research and that they know where he is and stuff. And gives the video, shows Cross the video of White Mike. He had a band, like one of those grunge, like heavy metal, death metal type bands. And they would do pretend sacrifices of fans. Yeah. And Ed Ramsey was a big fan of that.
He was front row center.
Yeah, so you could see that
smiling.
there. And now, White Mike is an actuary, and he goes by Mike such and such.
Whatever his actual last name
is.
I just put, Kayla brings info. They better not make her a love interest. Okay? I was like, I'm going to be pissed. And I say this another time during this, I don't know if it was this episode or what, but I'm like, bro, don't fucking do it.
Yeah, because
don't do it. Because I don't want to see it.
She walks off, he's like, hey, Kayla, you're perfect.
Yes,
And
I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? What are we doing? And why are we doing it? I don't like it. I do not like or appreciate. I was like, if they do this to me, I'm going to be pissed.
Right.
Okay? Because it does not have to be Elle, but it does have to be another black woman.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
We cut away and we see this Asian man, dentist, working on these dentures and doing the mold, and he's making the dentures for Shannon to wear. This lady looks nuts. Obviously she is, because she's a serial killer, but like for real, she looks insane.
Yeah.
Very much so. But here we see that there are people that, I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking like, okay, is it possible that this dentist doesn't know what this is for, and he just got a special order from this person who's a big fan of this lady who wants to wear dentures?
Yeah.
Like, to have her teeth?
Yeah.
Who knows? People are freaking weird, and I bet that that's a thing that people do, maybe? I don't. And he's just like, this is my job. I'm making the thing, and I'm getting paid for it.
Yeah.
Or is it possible that he actually knows what the F is going on?
Yeah.
And I feel like he knows what the F is going on.
Yeah. Because you see who's picking up the dentures, the real estate guy. The guy who was saying that don't tear up my house, blah, blah, blah. He's in on it. I feel like so he's got a daggum network of people to do what he needs done to fulfill this like goal of getting these 11 kills or whatever. So it's crazy. And they're like playing like the symphony classical music, like this guy's an artist making his like, you know, masterpiece of these dentures and stuff like that. It's wild.
Yeah. Then we see that Cross and Damon, they leave to go to Philly, blah, blah, blah. I didn't have a whole lot of details. I don't know okay. So they leave to go to Philly. They're like talking. They stop to get food because Nana Mama packed carrots. So they stop, they get like a burger or whatever. They have like a little moment. So they're talking. And then all of a sudden Cross is like, just leave it, Damon. Damn. I'm like, what
I know.
is happening?
Like, so much for that.
Yep. So now we are not friends again. Cuts to the freaking plastic surgeon from the party. She is the lady who says, when they like expose Cross, and he's like, no, wait a minute, he's the bad guy, he's a monster. Does he say he's a monster or something? Like and she says, the only monster I see in this room is you. Okay.
And she holds up the phone like,
yes.
Phone down.
Cut to her fixing the slash on Shannon's face after she cut her own face. She's like doing surgery to fix it and like talking through why she has to do it the way that she's doing it, because it's your face and it's much less forgiving than if this was like your stomach or something. I don't know, whatever. So she's like talking through this thing. And I'm looking like, how with a straight face are you just performing surgery on this person? You know who she is, you know the purpose, and you're just here like chilling. Like, yep, this is what I do.
And she's done it before because she said, and so you use the mortician's putty. That'll look great with the cameras that you like to use.
Yes.
Like, okay. All right.
Ridiculous.
So Kayla goes and talks to John, and tells him that she's given the information to Cross, and then she's saying they need to get their stuff together. She doesn't want to be their go-between. But she also reveals that they were able to freeze the accounts, like one of the accounts that Ramsey was using for like a lot of money, like transferring money and things like that. And so they froze that account, and so no money will be able to not be able to get any money into the account until the owner comes forward to do some stuff. And so we find out that is the money that Ramsey was paying Bobby. And he's quite upset. I think he wanted to do some real estate purchase or something like that, and now it can't happen because he didn't get his $2.2 million.
Right.
So, so now he said he has to go and look for him.
Then we see Alex talking to White Mike, Mike. Anyway, so he goes to his house. He meets him. They talk about like the time that he spent knowing Ed and doing, doing whatever they were doing. He said, everyone is saying, like, I knew there was something off with this guy, but like no one has said anything,
Right.
which has allowed him to do the things that he's done for how many ever years he's done it. And so like that is starting to piss me off. Every person we meet, they're like, oh, we knew that he was crazy. I'm like, all these people are dying and you're just like kicked back somewhere doing whatever. Anyway, so he's like, oh yeah, like, here's this video. And so the video is of him, Ramsey, Mike, and this fan. Ramsey brings the fan to Mike's house, apartment, I don't know, wherever they were. And like, you can tell that Mike has no idea what's going on. He's like, what are you doing here? What is this? And he's like, oh yeah, we're gonna, like, he said that you'll kill me or something. You're gonna sacrifice me or something like that. So he he's naked. The fan is naked. And he's like, yeah, Ed said I needed to be prepared for when we come here. So he like gets on the table and they're like, oh yeah, we're going to take some pictures. So he like has this knife dagger thing and he's like, they're taking pictures. Ramsey's taking pictures of Mike and this fan. And Ramsey is standing with his back to the camera. So you can only see the fan and Mike. And so they're taking pictures, whatever. And he's like, okay, go ahead. Like, take a picture, like close to his, like with the knife, the blade, like close to his neck or whatever. He takes the picture. And then as he's moving his hand away, as Mike's moving his hand away, he like nicks the guy's like neck. And the guy's like, what the heck, man? Like, that's a real knife. Yeah. And he's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And Ed goes, don't be sorry. This is what you wanted. Finish it. And he's like, Mike's like, what? No, this is not, whatever. Yeah. And he's like, okay. Just kidding. Ha ha ha. Let's take some more pictures. Let's get one more. And he's like, situates his hands, the knife over the guy's heart. And Ramsey goes to take a picture, puts his camera down and is like, no, let's make sure like this is perfect. And he's like adjusting his hands. And then he grabs his hands on top of Mike's hands and plunges the knife like into his heart, kills him. I believe that was Ramsey's first like human kill because he was killing the birds.
Or did he do that?
Oh, well, maybe the sister.
I don't know the timeline of it. So
I don't know either.
After, but yeah.
But it was his first killing, I think, where he, and I don't know if this person is probably not in the book. Okay. But he said he's a dead ringer for David Allen Gore, who was a serial killer. Okay. So I don't know if maybe that just got the ball rolling, that he like noticed that these people look alike and then was like, oh, hey, I can make this a career. Okay. So yeah, they do that. Kayla comes to wherever they are in Philly, picks up White Mike, takes him in. They go to the station, I'm assuming for questioning and all of that jazz. And they say they're going to put him up in a safe house so that he is safe and Ramsey doesn't get to him, yada, yada, whatever. Like being put up in a hotel or kind of maybe looks like an apartment or whatever, but this is like the safe house. And they say police are going to be there checking on him hourly. They can't do anything with Ramsey because they have to have an indictment first. Again, I think this then cuts to, I think, Kayla and John, or Kayla being at a bar with this man. They're like kind of talking, whatever. John comes up behind her and he's like, hey, what's going on here? And the guy's like, oh, hey, do you guys know each other? And he goes, she's my wife. I'm her husband, whatever. Yeah. And then the guy gets really uncomfortable and leaves. Again, I say, they bet not make Kayla and John a thing. Because why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Seriously.
To me personally, I do not appreciate such things. Yeah. Anyway, they did make them a thing. I knew it, ew. Yeah. And so then the The next morning or whatever, they go to Ramsey's. They're sitting outside Ramsey's house. He comes out and like walks up to the car. And they tell him again, why are we telling someone that we're chasing and trying to put away all of the evidence that we have? So like, we have a witness who's we're gonna use to put you away or whatever. And he's like, you sure? And he like winks at them and walks away. Then it cuts to Mike. The lieutenant is there and they're like talking. It's all friendly, whatever. And he's like talking to her belly. She's pregnant. And you see this hand coming up and shoots him in the head. And I'm like, oh my gosh. There is a killer in this apartment. How is that? I'm like, how is that possible? Yes. There is no way that I paused it before I figured out what actually happened. I paused it and I was like, there's no freaking way. Like, how could someone get in? This, and this. I have all of these questions. And then I play it and you see that the freaking lieutenant is the one who killed him. So I'm like, bro, he has people on the inside helping him. This is nuts. Insane.
When I saw that, I'm like, how does she not feel somebody behind her about to shoot him? I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, somebody's off camera with their arm about to shoot him, and you guys are playing Goo Goo Gaga on her belly. Like, what is going on? And I was like, oh my gosh.
I was like, are you freaking kidding me? I remember just saying that over and over again. Like, this cannot be. This cannot be.
And then the love interest thing, I have Kayla and John hook up, and I put like 3 eye rolling emojis. Cause like, what the heck, bro? Can't you just? Why do you have to do it? Okay, why? I don't get. I said to Jamar, I was like, why do they have to do that? Like, they gotta like make it like it's not too, pro-black or something like that. They gotta add in some type of multicultural acceptance. Like, we're not all, I don't know.
I just don't appreciate it.
I don't either. Like, come on.
Black.
Golly. Oh my gosh. That was annoying.
I was super annoyed. I'm like, why? What is the point?
Gosh.
That was very irritating. To me. Very. Oh my gosh. I was like, this is outrageous, honestly.
It was, ridiculous. That's that. Well, I guess we'll continue with 7 and 8 next time.